Stand by for a second, please. All right. So wanted to do a quick recap here on the dollar and 6E, and then I have a couple of quick equity charts to pop up here. On the left, this is the dollar index. This is a good little instrument to track. It's one of the what we call lower risk instruments, since it's only $5 a tick. And over here we have the Oracle. I'm showing the short-term Oracle just to keep things simple for now. And what I wanted to show was, you can see here that around 5:30, this is when that non-farm payroll number came out. 5:30 Pacific this morning. Would have been right about in here somewhere. Dollar bottomed out, bounced. We get a thrust. This is a trend change, 12 range guidance on a 4. See, we get a nice thrust, trend change, setting up a regular bar probe. These first probes on a trend change are normally very high probability trades, Get another nice thrust up. You can see here that the Oracle for the dollar had bottomed out here as well. Starting to show, we see this a lot on this Oracle. It's a thing we teach in webinars. Notice you had a nice divergence going on here, where even though the dollar had thrust to a fresh low right in here, you had divergence with the Oracle as it was heading higher. This was telling you that strength was building in this instrument, and to look for a potential breakout. And of course, that's what we got over here. And I'm not going to go through the rest of the trades, but you can see obviously we had a nice breakout, probe, hook, push up, another little probey here, push up. And if you were trading this manually, of course, you could have taken any one of these probes or breakouts, right? Breakouts, probes, and been trailing your stop, and you'd have the stop sitting probably somewhere right in this 71, 73 area, right in here. Now, I put the, we covered this last night in the Pro webinar. Looked at quite a few charts with the auto traders running on them. This is running the breakout Stealth 7 V7 on 6E. This is starting from last night, 5 minutes after midnight, and running it all the way till the present time. You can see it's up quite nicely. Actually, just show this real quick here on the 6E breakout trader here, stealthy trader. Actually, just hit another profit target. Let me blow this up. This is really nice to run these two together. You can see they're just a perfect mirror image of each other. You can take, you know, you can use the line trader. You can manually trade. You can trade the Oracle on the dollar. You can fire up 6C. You can put stealth or breakout auto trader on it. And what I wanted to show here is that it actually, and you can adjust this, of course, hit an 80 tick profit target here. And then the conditions were such that it re-entered the trade. And it just, I don't know if you noticed this while we were just talking here, re-entered the short on a stealthy breakdown, and it just hit another profit target right here. So that, by default, this auto trader has a 10-tick fixed target and an 80-tick runner. 10-tick fixed target and an 80-tick runner. So it just hit a 10-tick fixed target right here at this fresh breakdown. And let's see if we can see a dot. Okay, see this dot down here? This is the runner target right here. Right there. So right now, you just hit a 10-tick fixed target. It should be engaging what we call the break-even minus stop, which are these little opaque dots right here. See it? There you get fresh lows. See that dollar breaking out, how nice it is? Look at the dollar breaking out. Oracle strong Oracle. Fresh low on 6E. Here's our target down here, 80 ticks. You're up, what, about 20, 25 ticks on that second trade after it popped this little thing. Now, you see these little dots here? This is actually, this is orders going in. If you're seeing this for the first time or you're watching Stealthy, the auto traders, whenever this dot moves, what it's physically doing, see it just move? See the dots trailing as it's going down? What it's happening is that it's actually taking a trade, it's putting a stop here, and then when it moves, it cancels that stop and moves it to here. Cancels, moves it to here. Cancel, 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 moves it to here. Every time it's a fresh stop at your broker. Where's our dot? Way down here. Well, that'd be something if it comes down and hits that second target, wouldn't it? All the way down here. That'd be something. Might do it. Might do it, the way it's going. Look at that dollar move. Isn't that beautiful? Oracle strong as can be. Yeah, I'm sorry, Gary, go ahead.
Just real quick, short-term oracle is at the address of the White House, -666.
The men in the black suits are going to be knocking on your door here probably.
Careful what you say.
I just thought that'd be funny.
They're watching and listening to you. The men in black. Oh, that's good. All right, well, if there's no questions on the Oracle and the Auto Traders, I'm going to flip to another chart. Does everybody see how nice this is? Putting this, I really like to have a screen like this where you get the dollar and 6E kind of sitting right next to each other. I know we didn't really, we were focused so much on the equities here, but we got a lot of folks that trade the dollar and trade 6E. European session overnight and early in the morning. Got a couple of resident dollar traders that do really well. They just focus on the dollar. They started off small, too. I mean, Ron's one of the fellows in here. Started off with one contract, really learned this instrument, just got a good feel for it. I don't know how many contracts he's trading now. It might be up to 5 or 10. I'd have to ask him. But that's the way you do it. You find something you're really comfortable with. You get comfortable with the moves. You understand how it moves, and then you get in sync with it. Get in there, watch the Oracle, pull the trigger, take the trades. This might not look like much, but each one of these little legs is like 20, 25, 30 ticks. One contract you're talking about like $100, $150 a move. There's 3 of them. Well, if you got in down here, let's say you didn't pull the trigger until 30, and you got up all the way to, what is this, 80, 86, 50 times 2, 100, 100 ticks, $5 a tick. There's a $500 move here. Just from down here to here. One contract. And that's not even counting anything on 6E. That's just trading. That's just trading the dollar. So you can make money trading these lower risk, smaller instruments. Just have to get in sync with them, learn their motions, and pull the trigger. And the Oracle can help you do it. Let me pop over to another chart real quick. I want to show some moves on EMD. Just take a second. I'm going to go over to screen 3. You should see an EMD chart here. And now what's interesting is that your non-farm payroll number came out over here. 530 is somewhere kind of right about there. It's interesting to see that, market initial reaction to the numbers, of course, they were bullish numbers. They were up 120K, so a very bullish number. And initially the equities had an immediate thrust to the upside, putting in actually what's turned out to pretty much be kind of the high of the morning over here, shortly after the number came out. We talked about this last night. Remember we talked about this? You don't want to, remember we were saying here at the tail end of the webinar, I don't know if anybody remembers this, that you don't want to box in news. You don't want to box in news. You can see here, for instance, right ahead of the number, we were just chopping around. Now, if you had a buy order in here or a sell order down here and you got filled at the spike, I mean, you're looking at all these bars right here, for instance, printed inside of a minute. This is 1 minute right here. You don't want to box in news. That can be troublesome for you. You don't know where you're going to get filled. You might get stopped out. You're chasing around. You're trying to get out. You get filled long, and now you're chasing the thing down. But it was interesting to see how after that bullish number, it's the old buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Look at how we had a very precipitous drop. All the equities just started to really sell off here. Breaking support levels, breaking support, probe, break support, probe, break support, probe. And then the open, 6:30 Pacific, was actually right in here. So if you recall, we had a couple of those equities start to break down. Russell didn't break down so much. NASI had a little short trade. Remember we took a little NASI short. EMD broke a couple of supports, probe, break support. And then right here about 6:52, 6:55 Pacific, we put in pretty much what turned out to be the bottoms down here. Now this is how you know that you got a trend change coming along here. Notice that a couple of things you can see pretty straightforward on this chart. First of all, the downtrend line was broken. Everybody see that? It's really easy to draw these little downtrend lines like this, right? See, it was starting to break to the upside. See how it took this pivot and this swing out? Now, I put a couple of boxes here because this actually turned out to be a pretty nice long entry. Notice how we came up. We checked this resistance level. Checked this resistance level, and then it paused right around, everybody was saying 888.50. Watch the 888.50. Remember we were talking about that in the room? See this little pivot sitting right here? Now, you got an initial thrust. Well, and technically speaking, as far as the trend change is concerned, your initial thrust was up here like this. This was your initial thrust. You break through that, you get another pullback, and then you get a probie and a breakout to a fresh high. Oh, this is a 6. Yeah, sorry about that. I could show a 4. 4 is going to look very similar. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I had a 6. My apologies. My apologies. I thought that was a 4. 4 is going to look very similar to this. But what I wanted to show was this. Even if you didn't catch the breakout here, or the breakout here, or the breakout here, here again we talk about those first probes coming off a trend change. Clearly we had a trend change in here. We had a nice probe. Remember we say it's going to pull back and check the breakout level. Remember the room across the board, pretty much YM, NASDAQ. We're saying, hey, look, it's checking a higher level of support. So what happens is, most of you know this, of course, that when you have levels that are support and resistance, right? So former resistance levels theoretically should become new support levels. And of course, right around this pivot, you see that it did. See that? Works pretty nicely. Now I have the breakout math on here. This is Murray math. Some traders really like this. We get a lot of traders that kind of trade. Might sound somewhat simplistic, but you know, pivot to pivot. You know, take a break of a pivot, and the target will be the next pivot. It's a pretty straightforward way to go. Get support at a pivot, break out, take a trade, take a probie, take a breakout, targets the next pivot. Now I want to say something here. Just a final observation on this push higher. Notice that you got kind of a little reversal pattern. So I think we were ringing a cowbell at 93. Remember we were saying watch 93, 94? I don't know if you remember that. If you're long EMD, watch to get out around 93, 94. Well, you can see why we said that, right? Excuse me. Still fighting this little cold here. This is why we were saying that. See the swing high after the non-farm payroll number? Remember we were saying watch 93, 94? That was the swing high in the morning right there, and we didn't quite break it. Anybody remember those numbers? Remember us calling that out? And sure enough, this is a telltale sign that you want to be getting out of the trade when your swing highs are not broken, and you come back and you get a reversal through the pivot. So you actually had a couple of chances to get out of this trade up here. Boom, boom, not taking out the swing, strong resistance. Remember, strong resistance, get out, pull the trigger. I think you called it out on Roosty up there. What was it, 743, 44.10 or something, Gary?
Well, in that last little move that we had, yes. And then that first nice move that we had, we got it just all the way to the top, and it just hit it. I took mine out 2 ticks before the top, but it did hit the top.
Yeah, I can't remember the numbers on NASDAQ. Remember NASI was hitting its head up there at 31, 31.50, that line in the sand Rich was calling out. And then YM traders in that 34, 35, hit it like 3-4 times, 2-3 times. Those are all telltale signs that if you're long from lower levels, you want to be pulling the trigger to get out. Pulling the trigger to get out. That's reversal patterns. And it's a good thing you did, because look at what EMD did. Here's what EMD did after that. Let's expand this chart out. Hold on a second. Sure enough, you get another thrust down, and I'm not going to get into all the short possibilities here, but you know, here you come down, you push through that level, you go, you retrace up, boom, back down through it, back down through it, back down through it, and look where it came all the way back to. Nice V-shaped pattern on the equities this morning, all the way back down here, which was the 7 a.m. support. So it was interesting to see this market kind of playing into what we're used to seeing here. Huh? Okay. We normally wait 5-10 minutes after the open. We look for that 635, 640 trade, which in this case, of course, on the equities was short, popped a couple of shorts. We normally look for some kind of 7 o'clock trade, continuation or reversal. Here's your 7 o'clock hour right in here. Get the pop up, pull back, pop up. All the equities ran up. And then we usually look for something around 7:25, 7:30. Those are our sweet spots in the equities. Just convert that. This is all California time, Pacific. So just, you know, if you're East Coast, this would be like 9:30, right? 9:40. 7 o'clock, of course, would be 10 o'clock Eastern. And then, of course, up here around 7:30, we get our reversal pattern, and down we went. Back down to check the swing lows down here. So all in all, you know, depending on which side you trade and where you pulled the trigger, there's lots of opportunity in addition to the dollar. By the way, let me flip back over. I want to show 6E just stopped out of that short trade real quick. Come back and circle back and show that. And you probably, it looks like a yellow bar probe setting up on the dollar. See it pull back into here. This probably would have stopped you out. See the stop out here on 6E happened pretty much the same time. Here's your stop out right there. Just stopped out. And on the dollar, you can see here that we're kind of doing a yellow bar probe. And in all likelihood, remember we said you probably had a stop sitting up in here, kind of somewhere between stealthy and the stop dots. In all likelihood, if you were trading the dollar, you probably got out somewhere here around this, I don't know, 83, 82.5 level. It's interesting here, if you really watch this oracle and get to know it, it's a trusty little friend. See, you had divergence here, even though that market was pushing higher, pushing higher. See, this was telling you it's a little bit of weakness was starting to come in, and think about getting out of your long position. So sometimes you don't have to wait for those retraces. You know, if you're happy with your trade and the market's topping out, you simply pull the trigger. You can see down here, for instance, 6E was bottoming out right at the same time. Look at this right here. Boom, 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 3 times right down here. You don't have to wait for these retracements. I mean, just to show you over here real quick, let's see how much that retracement gave back on 6E. You had an equity peak of 28.40-ish, right? 28.40-ish. And here you stopped out at 26.62. So yeah, was that $180? Call that a drawdown at the end of your trade, right? $180 drawdown. It's still a good trade. Don't get me wrong. These are beautiful trades. I'm not saying anything negative about the trades. I'm just simply saying that if you're happy with the move, and we talked about this yesterday, especially if you're running an auto, come in here, you toggle the longs and shorts off so it doesn't take any more trades, and you simply come in and close the position. Boom, you're out. Done. Now, these might turn out to be yellow bar probes. C6E trying to look like it wants to roll over here, and the dollar might very well bounce right off of this level. After these long runs, me personally, I wouldn't take it. I'd be careful. Might get some deep consolidation or retracement here on both these instruments. I'd be careful. Look at these huge moves we've had. Just monster move, 100-tick plus moves. You see that kind of thing, you're going to probably get some retracement and consolidation. So be careful chasing the dollar and 6E right now. Same with EMD. Of course, we're getting a little long in the tooth for the morning, but let's go back circle and take one last peek here. Notice what happened here. Coming all the way back up off that little swing, checking the swing low, back to this area right here. So when you see this type of price action, sometimes it's not clear at this particular stage whether 2 things are going to happen. Of course, it could consolidate. Excuse me. Hold on a second. Let's speculate as to a couple of different things that could possibly happen, and then we'll wrap this up. You could see a slight consolidation patch around here. This could possibly, of course, we don't know, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what's going to happen. This could actually turn out to be a probe to the downside, roll over, come down and check support down here. Or she could come up here, hit this level, pull back slightly in a little retracement like such, and actually turn out to be a trend change and a break possibly to the upside if the bulls come back and reassert themselves like such. So it's really important as you're kind of observing these markets moving around to watch these critical swing areas and be aware of where they're at ahead of time. Plot them right on your chart. You can see here it just took a couple of minutes to put some lines on the chart. See the bar turning yellow, starting to break out from that high. So what we're wondering in our mind's eye as we look at this is, are we doing another pattern that might turn out to look like that? Right? Is we repeating ourselves here? It's just in the early stages of it, see? Just in the early stages of this pattern possibly repeating off of what could turn out to be kind of a V-shaped bottom down here. Just watch your setups. Watch this swing level, support, resistance. Look at your pivots. And it's pretty straightforward to see where these breakout levels and probes are. But here again, if you've made good money, you've taken this, you hear the old saying, 1 and done, 2 and done. A lot of traders traded earlier, and they made some good money on these breaks and these runs, and they're done. They cash out, they're finished. don't take any more trades. They turn the machine off or go to sim, go get some breakfast, go play tennis, whatever you like to do. Enjoy the rest of the day. It is Friday, so got a nice weekend. It's always nice to go into the weekend psychologically ending on an up note. I don't know about you. It's always going, put a little coin in the pocket before the weekend starts. It's a good way to kick off Friday and going into a weekend. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recorder. Is there any questions on what we